Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a full day wear test of the brand new KJAER WEIS The Invisible Touch Liquid Foundation. And I'm holding up the packaging because I just had to show you how cool this packaging is. It's like this paper molded packaging so that this whole thing is recyclable, which I think is really great. So this was sent over to me from KJAER WEIS in PR, so a huge thank you to them for sending this over to me. They sent over shade M210 Feathery, and this foundation is available now, which I will link to down below in my description box. It retails for $48 and there are 24 shades, I believe. So I have all of my skincare down. I'm going to apply it for you. We'll do some close-ups. I will do one check-in midday and then I will come back to you at the end of the day. It is really early. I actually got a really early start today. It is about 7:30 in the morning. So let's go ahead and open this up. I haven't even opened this up. There's like a perforation, so you can kind of just tear this packaging open. And while I am getting this open, I'm on the KJAER WEIS website, so I just want to read a few things here. It is certified organic, it has light to medium coverage, and it is for all skin types. And like I said, there are 24 shades, and on their site, you can select your skin tone and your undertone, and they will suggest shades for you. It is super gentle on skin, has long-lasting, hydrating, comfortable wear, thanks to the addition of ingredients like certified organic chamomile water, hyaluronic acid, a blend of cold press oils and natural waxes, and the KJAER WEIS exclusive ingredient, Dioscorea batatas, known as the root of light. It is biodynamically grown and harvested through a method exclusively available to KJAER WEIS. The first ingredient, the main ingredient, is chamomile water, and chamomile water is the main active ingredient helping to soothe the skin with every application. I am down with that for sure. I have dry eczema prone skin, so I like anything that is like soothing and calming, like this chamomile water sounds amazing. And then there's also Spilanthes acmella flower extract. This flowering plant gently relaxes muscles, reducing the formation of expression lines while also boosting collagen structure. Consider it nature's Botox. Oh, wow. Let's get this on my face. For application instructions, it says to shake well every time before use. And I do hear it seems very liquidy, and it does appear to have a dropper applicator, so that always says to me that it's going to be of a thinner consistency. And they had sent me Feathery in their cream foundation, and I thought it was maybe a little bit too deep. So if this is too deep, we're just gonna go with it. Thankfully, I have a high neck shirt and I don't need to go down too far on my neck. But that is the shade Feathery. Let's go ahead and drop some onto the back of my hand. They also suggest either using your fingers, a damp sponge, which I have, or a dense like a dense bristle brush, like a foundation brush. So I think I'm going to try the sponge. I'm not the biggest fan of using my fingers, but I think I'm going to try a sponge. So here's the dropper. Yeah, I think the shade is going to be a little bit too deep for me, but we'll see. So there's the consistency. It's thin, but it's not like super watery. So I'm going to apply it to this half of my face here. Yeah, I think it's the wrong undertone. I think it's a little bit too warm for me. And I've got my sponge here, so I'm just going to blend that out. While I'm doing this, let me just tell you, in case you're new to my channel, I am 47, so I have, you know, middle-aged, aging skincare concerns, and I have dry, sensitive skin, and I've always had dry, sensitive skin, so it's not like something that I'm experiencing as I'm getting older. I've just always had dry, sensitive skin. And my personal preference when it comes to foundation is something in that light medium coverage family. I'm not generally like a full coverage foundation wearer, so this foundation actually sounds like perfect and right up my alley. So I am really excited to see how this turns out. I don't think I put enough on, so that was 2 drops. So I'm gonna drop 2 more on the back of my hand here. Apply it to my forehead. Oh, I didn't even mention the packaging other than the dropper. So this bottle is frosted glass, so there's a really nice weight to it. And one thing I'm noticing is when I first pulled out this dropper, I noticed how like narrow the opening was, and I thought, oh, this is gonna end up being a mess. But it's really clean. I feel like it cleans off the dropper every time you like bring it out of the bottle. So it's actually not very messy at all. Like I'm not getting anything around the opening, which I think is really great. I'm just adding another light layer on I feel like the coverage that I got was very light. And so I want to see if I can get it to a light medium. I think the sponge, because this is a thinner consistency, I think the sponge is soaking up quite a bit of this, unfortunately. I should probably use a brush on this side and see. And one of the tips that they have on the website, I just wanted to mention, is that prepping your skin is very important, blah, 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 and that you should apply some oil down, maybe a few drops, and let it soak in for 5 minutes. So that's what I did. I actually put down some of my Chantecaille Rose de May oil. I put that down probably about 10 minutes before I started filming. And so I just wanted to mention that, but that's why my skin is very glistening. All right, so there it is applied to this half of my face. So I think with like the 2 light layers that I did, I think I did get it up to like a light medium coverage. I feel like the redness around my nose is dampened a little bit. I feel like the kind of discoloration I have around my eyes is camouflaged a little bit. I think this shade is definitely too deep for me, or it's just kind of the wrong tone. It's just a little bit too warm. You can see the difference there in tone between my face and my neck. Actually, I hope you can see the difference. There is definitely some radiance, especially if you do put some oil down like they suggest, and if you use a damp sponge. I definitely see a lot of radiance going on. Again, I have dry skin, so that doesn't necessarily bother me. But let's go ahead and apply it to this side of my face with a brush and see if it is as radiant as this side is. Oh, and before I forget, this is 1 fluid ounce and the shelf life is 12 months. All right, I've got my Clé de Peau foundation brush here, and I'm going to dot this on and blend in. Let's see if the brush kind of gives us a little bit more coverage than the sponge. Yeah, I do feel like I get a little bit higher coverage when I use a brush versus the sponge. Not really a surprise. The sponge really kind of sheared it out. And I think this side is just as radiant as this side, so I don't think the damp sponge really added to the radiance too much. I think a lot of it probably has to do with the oil that I put down, but I think this foundation too definitely leaves a little radiance on the skin as well. All right, I'm just gonna finish up by applying to the rest of my forehead here. All right, I'm just taking a close look here. So far, so good. Everything looks really smooth. Everything looks lovely. I like the light medium coverage. I feel like I can still see, you know, a lot of my skin kind of shining through. So it looks very natural, which I'm personally a big fan of. So let me bring you guys in a little bit closer and we'll pan down from my forehead to my chin. I think it's sitting on my forehead really nicely. I have some very deep expression lines, wrinkles in my forehead, and they're definitely not being emphasized. I think it looks good around the eye area. My under eyes look nice. And then along my cheeks and jawline, everything looks good so far. All right, so I'm gonna forego concealer. I would probably add some around my eyes. I'd probably add some around my nose, but I really wanna see how this foundation wears around those areas especially. So I think I'm gonna forego concealer, but I am going to powder a little bit, and then I'm gonna put on just some light makeup or whatever. And let's go ahead and take a look at my first check-in. So I didn't do a check-in. This is gonna be my final check-in, and it is about 6 o'clock in the evening. I have had this makeup on for about 10.5 hours. And it has been quite a day. So after I finished recording like the first part of this video, I stopped recording, I sat down at my desk, and I realized I was invited to a KJAER WEIS Zoom meeting, online meeting about this foundation. So I actually recorded a few bits of this. I'm gonna throw that in here for you now, just so you can hear Kirsten talk about the foundation a little bit, and she's the founder and the brains behind KJAER WEIS. So here are those clips.
Because it really is rooted in skincare, and I'm gonna apply a little bit. And it comes in a dropper, and the dropper will typically give you about 2 drops. And that's actually on purpose, because a little really goes a long way. I personally love applying it, and I'm just going to use my mirror here. I love applying it just with the warmth of my fingers, because I think the warmth just makes it one with the skin. And now that the skin is prepped, it has like the perfect base to glide on like silk. So I'm going to just do that on this side. And you'll see the finish is similar to a serum. It's very easy to apply. You definitely could if you had to, apply it directly on the skin because of all the moisturizing properties in there. But I still think and recommend that it's better, to have the skin prepped for it so it has something to grab onto. And using the oil that also contains Diospora batatas, the root of light, it's the same thing, has just completely transformed her skin. I use it a lot on acne-prone skin because it really helps calming down the irritation. So it's just a magical ingredient that the Italian manufacturer have found a way of harnessing the essence of this root and infusing it in kind of like in a vapor form so that we can include it in our products. So again, just sharing all of these because it speaks to the depth, the skincare depth that the foundation is truly rooted in.
So it's really interesting to hear her talk about this new liquid foundation. She said when she started this foundation, she created it first as skincare. She really wanted to make sure that there were skincare benefits to this, first and foremost, and then they added the pigment in to make it a color product, to make it makeup. What I want to mention before I get into my actual review of this foundation is I've had quite a day. So after I stopped recording, I hopped onto that Zoom, which I almost missed. I'm so glad that I caught it. And then I had to go down to my garage and put a few boxes together and kind of clean out my garage a little bit. And it is still very, very warm here in Vegas. So I was definitely, schwitzing. I was, definitely sweating around my hairline. And apparently that took a lot out of me because I came in from that and then I napped. So this makeup has been through it. It's been through physical activity. It's been through sleeping. And I am incredibly impressed with how this foundation has worn, is wearing. And I'm going to do a close-up now and pan from my forehead down to my chin so you guys can see. But I'm just so impressed that there's no wearing away around the hairline. And like I said, I was really kind of sweating in the garage. I was definitely schwitzing. So I was really mentally prepared to see, a lot of wearing away. I think under my eyes, it looks great. When I woke up from my nap, my eyes were a little bit watery. So I was kind of patting them down and I kept thinking to myself, oh my God, what a foundation wear test this is going to be. But it has held up beautifully. Around my nose, I feel like it has worn away a little bit. You can see the redness around my nostrils peeking out again. I am definitely a little bit sniffly from allergies, so it's definitely, rubbing around my nose area. But everything else looks really great, around my cheeks, my jawline, around my mouth, where I typically will have issues with foundation. Sometimes it looks just a little bit cakey or dry around there, and it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks so, so good. It doesn't look like it's worn away or anything, and I've had 2 meals. There was quite a bit of radiance when I first put it on, so I do have a little bit, a little bit of the Sisley pressed powder. I kind of lightly dusted that just all over my face, just to bring the shine down a little bit. And I don't think that I'm any more radiant, maybe the tip of my nose here, but I don't think I'm any more radiant around my face. That was another concern of mine, especially when I was in the garage and sweating. I was like, wow, I wonder if this is really gonna make me extra special glowy. But I don't think I look overly glowy or even more glowy than I put it on originally. So I'm very impressed with that. And like I said, this has been quite a wear test and I think it looks really fantastic. I'm very, very impressed. I think I need to pick up a lighter shade. The ethereal shade, I think, is the one that would work for me. Well, for my first full day wear test, I am very impressed with this foundation. I really, really love it. So let me know if you have any questions down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.